Hi, my name is Ari, and I'm so happy you have chosen to watch an episode of our podcast, the Growth, Grace, and Gratitude podcast. I was inspired to start podcasting as a kind of shift that I had from the dance world into journalism. I grew up dancing ballet, and I have performed with the New York City Ballet, Miami City Ballet, at Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and in Madison Square Garden. So my overarching experience in dance has really inspired me to open up conversation that affects and influence our mental health. We have experts from every field to just talk about things and to find some level of growth, grace, and gratitude within each step of our evolution. I also want to mention that we have spiritual courses available for anybody that wants guidance on their spiritual journey. And if that includes coaching, we have a lot of guidebooks about inner child healing and mental health support and relationship guidance. And for students, we have great tutoring for writers who want to build on their journalistic skills or who want to publish their first novel, who want to work on their writing in general. We have courses in dance, ballet, yoga, and Pilates. So whether you are advanced or brand new, our classes are held on Zoom, and we have options for personal classes or group classes. And for writers, there's also an option of the typewriter. So if you have a typewriter that needs repair, we can repair that for you. And if you need a new typewriter, you can purchase a beautiful typewriter and start the writing process at your own pace. If you would like to have me on your podcast or would like to be a guest on my podcast, or if you want us to answer your questions in an upcoming episode, please send us an email at growthandgracemindset@gmail.com. If you like our shows and they resonate with you, please consider giving our show a rating of 5 stars. Give us a comment, follow us, and just enjoy the episodes. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your journey with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Welcome to the Growth, Grace, and Gratitude podcast, where we talk about all things the arts, music, ballet, mental health, healing, entrepreneurship, business tips, and so much more. And today we will be discussing the gift of music and communication with twin sisters Corinna and Isabelle Cott, inspirational musicians, artists, and communicators creating content to lift up and unite with our truth. So, thank you guys so much for joining us and to spread the love through music.
Thank you very much for having us. Yes.
It's so lovely. Your quote, "We are all the creators of our experiences, and together we participate in creating this world. For we are oneness within one, and one within oneness." That's such a beautiful message of unity and love. How did you start thinking like, oh, I want to like work together with my sister and create music to share to the world?
I think that all I know that all happened very much in the
Automatic.
flow. So there was a lot of thinking on my part from right from the beginning. Why am I alive? This is like a very big thing. Why am I alive? What is this world? How does it work? There were a lot of questions regarding that. But we also wrote poetry when we were kids already, dealing, using our words to express our emotions, right? In arts already with poetry.
Yeah, but I would say the beginning of it all was that our parents are such huge music lovers, especially our dad, and he was very free about expressing and singing anywhere. And so we sang as little on, and our mother taught us harmonies, and so we performed once in our small town, and then we became the performers because, twins, harmonies, joy in singing.
That's so amazing. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Sorry,
No,
of course I would have said it too. You know that
I
story
know.
too.
I
Thank
was
God
getting
she
out
knows
to
it.
And how do you guys create lyrics? Do you have like music sessions? Do you both create lyrics? How does that work?
Please. I'm sorry, I
No, no,
interrupted
no,
you,
you
so you
didn't
can
interrupt.
totally.
No, 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 no. Corinna, don't do that. It's
Okay,
good.
don't do it.
Perfect.
Lyrics. So again, automatic. I feel our parents translated English lyrics to us in Germany. We're from Germany, right? And our parents used to live in Canada before we were born, so they used to speak English around us all the time, and I could understand all the lyrics. So lyrics, were translated to us from a little on. And then both of us, I know we did that where we used songs that we loved, and we took the melody and wrote our own German lyrics to it. Um,
So
I,
yeah, to answer your question, we're both writing lyrics, and the and the music flows. I mean, the
the
melody flows
words,
through us, the words flow through
thank
us,
you, God.
whether we are writing them down, the words, or we're singing them. It's all very much in the flow. They're coming, and so we'll just catch them and share.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Do you have any favorite songs or lyrics that really like speak to you and make you joyful anytime you sing it?
Um, well, lyrically, I feel like okay. So we write affirmation music too. Isabel wrote some more than me, but I grab them a lot because there are moments where I'm like, oh, I don't feel well. Oh, I'm safe and all is well. I'm safe, and I'm just like in that sense. I feel like it's very helpful to have lyrics that automatically put me in a good mind space. But you know how it goes with music. It's depending on the emotions of the moment. So, but our all our lyrics are supportive.
I can say the same. Like our music isn't necessarily the music that I regularly listen to. The songs that I would sing to feel better are the affirmation songs. If I feel like I need a boost in some direction, that's why those songs were written. They were written for that mind. I wrote my affirmation songs for myself first, just like to help me on the path, and then I shared them and I use them from time to time. And I've noticed the other day when I had a moment of going through all our music again and I listened to it on YouTube, it
It's
lifts the
enjoyable.
spirit. It does feel good for sure.
100%. That's so beautiful. There does seem to be like a shift more collectively with music being more affirmational, more spiritual, and I think that's so positive because the whole idea of music, it's like it's not just the sound, right? There's like a vibrational tone and frequency connected to that, and that is supposed to bring people healing together, unity, love. So I think it's so beautiful that you're part of this movement to bring in this new light and new energy to the world.
I'm super grateful for it too.
Yeah, we're paying it. It's the words also. It's not. It's the music, and
Yes.
it's two sides of the brain. The one brain that has the words, and the other side of the brain that is dealing with the music. And so it's very much. We are very much absorbing the message through the vibration of the word and the sound. That's where I feel. That's where we became very conscious about the songs that we were singing when we were younger, and the words and the sentences that we sang to ourselves that were unsupportive. Hence, now our music is very supportive in the words and the affirmation songs specifically focusing on a certain
What
positive.
right? Where I would like to say, I believe that all music exists, and I'm just going to speak for myself, but I think that you probably agree. But all music exists with reason. So I wouldn't want to believe that only one way to write is the right way to go. But I know what Isabel just mentioned about our childhood, and thank God we grew up in the 70s, 80s, where lyrics were not raunchy or crude or rude or very sexualized, but they definitely had
Not like it is now.
not like
No.
it is now possible to hear. But back in those days, what we did have a lot of is heartbreak. So I know that every song I ever sang about how I'm never gonna love. Okay, thank God, not that one. I do still love. Never gonna love again. That's not a supportive sentence, but so love had a lot of heartbreak songs, and I lived them all, and I know that I lived all of the stories about love that I sang, and I'm very grateful that we were given this consciousness that we became conscious of being mindful of the words we use, and in that sense, we are always supporting what we're saying in the song, and it's not going to be taking your power away. And again, these songs exist with reason because I did love a lot of them at the time, and they were necessary. So the way we write, it's supportive. in every way.
Yes, that's a great point, because so often humans go through different levels of ascension and growth and healing, and it is beautiful to have something that we resonate with on that level of our healing journey. So that is a great point that you're making.
And I even believe that anything that is ever created, and that's not just music, but let's talk about music. Everything that's ever created is meant to be shared. Because if we touch one person, only one person, we already changed the world because it's a ripple effect. So I always like to mention to any artists who are listening, please share your stuff, because you never know how that one person will have their whole world changed because of your music.
And today is actually National Take a Chance Day. So what a great alignment
Okay.
to actually
So take
just
a
go
chance,
for
guys.
it. I know. The actual motivation should be on a daily basis to just like be confident enough to just go for it. And even if you fail, I think you have to not be afraid. Do you ever, both of you, deal with like failure or fear of failure? How do you reconcile those kinds of emotions we all go through?
So I don't necessarily believe in failure. I believe that everything that I experience is for me to learn something from. So if something works out differently than I had anticipated it, I don't see it as a failure. I see it as, oh, okay, adjust. I need to adjust. Am I adjust, adjust to how you approach this, or take the learning from it. Okay. Sometimes these things, when I feel like, oh God, what did I do? Which of course that can happen, then that is uncomfortable. Maybe to look at and to say, well, it is what it is. Have peace with it and just do better next time. This kind of, but it's not. It's never really failure. It's just growth. Everything is there to grow from. Um, yeah.
Uh-huh. And I believe, I mean, yeah, I have fears and questions of failure, but then I know one big thing about who I was and who I am now, while I am mindful when I wasn't. I don't live these very long. These moments of fear or, doubt or whatever comes my way, I learned the more I don't do this, but this, is the more I open to the situation and let it flow, the faster it goes away. And the more I try to protect myself from this energy that I don't like, the more it'll surround me, it feels like. So if I can be in the flow in these feelings and come back to trust, because I do believe there is a field that loves us and wants us to have it all, and I like to call it God, but whatever you want to call it, is a field that's consistently conscious and aware. And if we go with it, we will be supported. I know that 100% doesn't mean I always go with it, because every moment's new, but it is a super incentive, and it's a lot of fun when I can do it.
That's so true. And you mentioned a great thing. It's like when we go through failure, not to close it up with like shame, but to actually be like, oh, okay, I'm going through this now, I'm processing it, and I'm okay with that. Because just like all the waves of feelings and emotions, they come and go. And I think the minute we're able to be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm not hiding from it, I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm gonna let it like process out. That's also like a great message to inspire people to not be afraid of failure and to kind of keep it going.
Yeah, I feel like it has to do with trust that, as was said, that there are no failures, but room to grow and opportunities to see that. So I think the more loving we can be towards our environment and towards ourselves, the easier these feelings go. And also, maybe not take it too serious, even though some things feel very serious. But again, I notice in the times I got really freaked out in the past about things, and in the times nowadays where I have much more trust, the end result is always everything's fine. It always ends up to be fine. But in one area, in one story, I suffer a lot, and in the other one, I have just a small moment that then can move forward. It's really, really fun, actually, when it works that way.
And being sisters who create music together, do you ever have little quarrels or arguments when it comes to working together or performing together?
In the past, we worked through a lot of arguments. We come from a very
Aggressive background.
we had to work through the way we communicate with each other, and then we are both very headstrong, and sometimes in the past it was harder for us to find the common ground, because there's this I'm right, no, I'm right kind of thing that happened between us. We started to write separately. In the past, we did write in the very beginning. We wrote together, but it was only once, I think, or twice we sat together and wrote. You generally, it was like she did a part, gave me the song, or I did a part, gave her the song. And now we're writing separately, so there's definitely less arguments about writing the music, because now we are at a point where we're saying, if it is your song, you have final say. I can come up with ideas, but if you say no to that, then I let go because it's your song, and the other, and vice versa.
And I think that's the thing about creativity, because if she were to paint a picture, I'm not going there with another one of those pens. What they call the pins? I can't think of the word right now. The
Brush.
brush, with the paintbrush, and go, oh, that's cool, but wait, and then I start drawing on the picture. So in music, I think it's very easy for a person to say, no, this is better, but it's a taste. It's all about taste in the end,
Yes,
and
and it's like we individually as humans we channel kind of things from the divine, from our higher selves, and it's like this is our personal authenticity, and it does it's difficult when somebody comes up to us and be like, no, this is like this is better, but it's the whole purpose in a way. It's like the personal expression, and then you can combine it together. It's very
And
cool.
you know, I like to give a story about that because it was a huge proof for me to not meddle too much, or allow that I'm being stopped instead of fighting, but no, I must be right. And you're, Isabel wrote this song and she showed it to me and I thought, ooh, I don't like it. And I said it, I don't like it. And she's like, I don't care. I channeled it and it stays that way. And it's now, and it actually didn't take long, it's one of my favorite songs from her. And I know that if she would have listened to me, we wouldn't have this result. I wouldn't have the opportunity to love this project, this song, as much as I do, because I would have changed it. Who knows to what? But the fact is that she stood up and said, no, I felt this. This came to me like this. I'm leaving it. Thank God that my sister is so intuitive and strong, because here we go. I have a song that I listen to a lot and I love it.
It's beautiful. And again, that's where our trust has to come from. It has to be like, oh, I'm trusting myself, even if somebody doesn't like it. I'm putting my faith and
Yeah.
my trust into it. It's so cool because yesterday there was a viral video out on the news, and it was of identical twin sisters, and they were talking about the humanitarian work or working for animals in Australia. Their movements and gestures were so synchronized, and like they mirrored each other so well. And similarly to how you guys are also like communicating and expressing yourselves, does that come naturally? Do you just like work off each other naturally like that?
Well, now we do. This was a long path, and we're still working on it.
I I feel like we're all riding a wave energetically. Everybody is riding their own wave, or we're part of a bigger wave. And being the twin thing, there is a very similar wave. Like we are automatically kind of on the same kind of,
Story.
yeah, with our own little differences and approaches to this kind of same wave, it seems.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
mean, Isabel and I, it's our, because we come from a background that wasn't
Harmonious all the time.
harmonious, we really, really appreciate the harmony that we can find with each other. And we worked very, 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 and very hard to come to this place that we give each other this respect and trust, and also keep in mind that whatever we think is like this is not because somebody thinks, oh, I'm going to get you, but it's just opinion. And then because we both desire harmony, it's really helping, and it makes us be who we are. Thank you,
I kind
God.
of cringe when you say we work very, 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 very
Well, it's
hard.
annoying to you, it is too, though.
Not annoying, not at all annoying.
But what
No,
about
no,
it?
no, no. I'm cringing because I'm thinking hard work. I feel like if one does have a
I
goal,
didn't say work though. It
yeah,
was hard.
okay. If one has a goal that she wants to achieve, then you don't give up.
Of course not.
That's it. So I don't call that hard. I just call that keep moving. It's we walk through it. That's the thing. Like if I don't make mistakes, then I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel like I have to stop on my tracks. I can keep moving and can just just continue. No,
And
and
it's funny because you jumped on that word, but the fact is, when it comes to hard, you know how many times you were like, "Oh my, it was really hard. It was hard." Maybe I didn't need to say it 5 times, but it really was hard.
But I think I understand because like sometimes our intentions are so good, but sometimes it takes kind of like bumping into the same obstacle over and over again until we're able to kind of see the clarity. So I can understand that myself going through different kinds of like I grew up dancing ballet. So when we have rehearsals, we have to actually work really hard to get it to how we want it to be presented in front of the audience. So it doesn't mean it's like hard work that it's like that we don't like it. It just means that we have the intention and integrity to make it beautiful, and we're just willing to put in the work, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yes, and that we are.
I'm sorry. I'm just like because of words. I can be sometimes with where I feel like a certain
Stickler.
the way we speak. No, I feel like the way we speak sometimes as human beings, how we communicate with each other, we might throw ourselves stones on the road by expressing ourselves in a way that doesn't support our story. Because if I say, "Oh, this is so hard," the other day we were hiking up a mountain, and it's like not crazy mountain thing, but it was. I haven't been doing this the harder kind of part, and I'm walking, and I can feel freakazoid, this is really hard. And I can hear it in my head as I'm saying, oh, I'm so exhausted. Oh, I can't do this. And then I remind myself, wait a second, you got to support yourself. So every step I took from that moment on, I said, this is easy. This is easy. Every step, this is easy. This is easy. And I could tell how easy I got. So that's just why I'm saying like words when we say like, this is so hard. We have to work hard. I have a general, reservations towards this kind of visual. You have to work hard on that. Well, you just keep working on it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Just don't give up. Keep going.
I appreciate that perspective as well, because then it's a big mindset shift to bring us more into that state of like ease and joy and grace. So I do appreciate that as well. That's a really great point. Yes. And since you guys are working together, do you have any tips for siblings or people who are like best friends or family who want to work together and who want to like minimize arguments and maximize their, final product, final results? What
I'm
tips
not
do
sure.
you guys have? What tips do you have as siblings for other people who also want to work together as siblings in
So I
music
would
and
think
art or anything?
I think the number one is to remember that we love each other. Because here's what I think in siblings without music, with just being siblings, I see it with every sibling. They butt heads here and there, but it is about, in any family really, it's about communication. And we learned that very, very, I mean, my mother always said, talk, 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 talk. You never stop talking, you never stop talking. And that, I think, saved us to come to the point that we are now. Because I know enough people where family actually like even say goodbye to each other because of mindsets or hurt feelings that they can't bring up, and they have a hard time releasing this, or even ego that's like, I'm not going to apologize, whatever the reason may be. So if family wants to come together and work together, then they will be aware that this close working together, um, sometimes it's easier to be mean to your family member because you snap and you just don't control yourself as much as you would with a stranger. So this is the part where I feel like it's good for anyone who works together to be aware. Don't stop talking. Don't assume that you know what's happening, because we as twins sometimes I really, and most of the time I get it, but there are times where I'm like, I don't get it, what's happening. And and if she doesn't tell me, I still won't know, and thank God we talked. So talking is the number one thing, I think.
I think when you have the goal of working together, you don't give up. It's the same like climbing that mountain again, and maybe also taking the approach of, I can do it and it's going to be easy. Because often when we say, oh my God, I already know what you think, like when in family dynamics, we know each other pretty well, but the knowing each other pretty well is also like, I really like this cloud idea. If I have a certain idea of my sister and I think she's already like this and blah, and all my behavior now towards her is based on how I see her. So maybe there's something I want to say, but I feel like if I say it, I already know she behaves blah blah blah. It's like this cloud that I put over her head. This is Corinna, and saying like she will behave from this cloud, not giving her the opportunity to have changed already.
To
So
show up
to
differently.
be different than the last time. So I personally think the greatest gift we can give to each other, and that doesn't matter if it's family or friends or the whole world, allow the other to be. So don't believe that you already have it all figured out. You know the person, you know your mom, you know your dad, you know your sister, you know your friend or the neighbor, because there's way more that we don't know. Even with the people that are closest to us. Since I'm not stuck to a hip, and the experiences she made, I wasn't there all the time. There is so much that is her story, and the best thing I can do is allow her to have her story, so that she can be who she is, and I become the observer of what I'm experiencing, and not so much creating with her by putting dark clouds like this is who she is, where I kind of take a little bit of the room she has to express herself, because I think I already know. This was huge.
That's true.
We were 10 years apart from each other, and when we got back together, I realized the number one thing here that I must do, I must allow her to have her own story, because I came here thinking like I got to figure. I was super business mind, and I thought I can help, with the music at that stage, right?
Yeah,
and I had all these ideas, and I was consistently cut down, and it really was frustrating. I'm like, I feel like I know how to do it. Why is nobody listening? Okay, wait. Everybody has their own story. I need to allow this story, that her storyline next to my storyline. It mingles. It kind of mingles, but she has to be
Intertwined.
her. I have to allow the individual for everyone.
Plus, the ego has to get out of the way, so we really allow each other's strengths to flourish instead of, cutting each other down or thinking I have to do it all or you need to do it, or I don't know, whatever. We don't really have that, but definitely to allow each other to be individual.
It will always be the ego. It's always the ego that makes others smaller, because it is coming from a separated mindset. It thinks it's separate from its environment, which is true, but it's only half of the whole thing. The other half is we are the oneness in one. So the ego is, it's not even seeing that it is both the one in the oneness in the field, and the field in the one.
Everything that
Okay, awesome. So where can everybody connect with you guys and all your work?
Yes, please visit us at ourtruthmusic.com. It is our website where we have all our music videos and our art and our Truth podcast. No, it's not a podcast. We don't have a podcast. Our Truth series is where we make videos where we also share information that we find helpful and thoughts and ways of living. It's all on our website. Oh, Isabel's showing a
Yes,
picture.
we have beautiful art.
Oh, wow.
That is for sale. This is the divine masculine and divine feminine energy in the purple flame of healing, with the earth behind us in yellow solar plexus.
That's beautiful.
So we have all kind of
And I'll show you it as well.
I
I
Oh,
just hung
wow.
up on her wall.
Wow,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful.
So yeah, because
Thank
it's
you.
part of our story, right? We were talking about music and words, but really art is also part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, drawing is so nice and mind
Relaxing.
releasing. So yeah, please visit us at outtruthmusic.com, and we can sign up on the website and be part of our email list. And then also we do have all the other platforms.
They're all linked
Fairfax
on our website. All the other Instagram and Facebook and YouTube is linked. We have 2 separate Instagram accounts, but it's all on our website.
And one little fun fact: we go live every Wednesday at 4:45 Pacific Standard Time for a few
At
minutes.
2:45 Pacific Standard Time.
2:45 Pacific. Oh, I'm sorry, 2:45 Pacific Standard. We go live for a few minutes. We say hello and we sing a song, and then that's
On
it.
her Instagram.
Yeah, on my Instagram, Our Truth Music.
Amazing. So inspiring, so lovely. Corinna and
Isabel.
Isabel. Thank you guys so much for coming on and
Sorry.
sharing your story. It's so inspiring, and it's a love.
Thank you for having us. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. Okay.